As missionaries for Jesus, how can we point people to the good news of the gospel in everyday life? This rhythm is the rhythm of storytelling. One time, my wife and I had about 10 people over for dinner, and at the dinner table, everyone was still. They were quiet, and then there were cracks of laughter because someone was telling a story. Someone had brought us all into this story. It was about how it was told, how it was acted, how it was communicated. It brought us in. And that's the thing with stories. We enter into them when we engage with them. We become a part of them. And also, we're telling stories all the time. Whether it's answering questions or asking questions, then you've got maths questions that are often stories. Even taking photos and capturing moments, they're stories. We tell stories sometimes without even noticing. And that's a good thing, because our culture engages with stories. Our culture loves stories. Think about all the streaming services there are. Think about libraries and how many books there are in libraries. They all tell stories. But underneath all of that, our culture has a story of its own. Where it's come from, where it is now, where it's going. And beneath all of that, each individual has their own story. The story of the family they were brought up in, or even just what food they like and why. But as a Christian, we realize that each story, everyone's story, is a part of something bigger. Is a part of the true story, the story of redemption and restoration, the story that God Himself broke into, and we recognize that everyone is a part of it. But not only do we recognize it, we get to partner with God in the continuation of this story. That He uses His church, empowered by the Spirit, to bring people into the story, to be redeemed, to be restored, to be reconciled with God Himself. We get to partner with God in the ministry of reconciliation. Now we can do this not just in how we live, but in how we tell stories. So think about your life story. How can we weave God's story into that? Think about just everyday stories you tell. Why you liked a certain movie. How can you weave the cosmic story into that? Every story we tell, every story we live, is a part of the great cosmic story. So here are 3 thoughts for you, practical ways to live out this rhythm of storytelling in light of being a missionary for Jesus. Firstly, take some time with your community to practice telling your big story with Jesus as the hero. Secondly, take some time with your community to tell little stories, everyday stories, and think about how you can weave God's cosmic story into them. And thirdly, think about how you, as a group of people, can tell stories together. And I don't mean like a 90s answer phone message. I mean like chipping in with truth, with recognizing where the story might weave into that, recognizing where God's story might contrast with that. And be prayerful. Ask thought-provoking questions. Do that together, and then do that with the world around you.